Chapter 9. Not doing well. What happened? Lizzie asked. Is she sick? Is it catching? Maybe I shouldn't bring Oscar in. And Jill shook her head when she opened the door. No, it's fine. You can come in. I think Ginger would love to see Oscar. Excuse me. She waved Lizzie into the living room. Ginger was curled up on the rug. Next to a brightly colored cloth. When Lizzie and Oscar went into the room, Ginger stroked her feet, panting to touch noses with Oscar. Lizzie watched as Case Oscar ground, but all he did was happily sniff Ginger and wag his tail. Ginger wagged her tail too. Sit down, please, and Jill told Lizzie as she pulled a tissue from a box and blew her nose. Aw, that's so sweet, she said, pointing to Oscar. Oscar was sniffing and licking the side of Ginger's face, kissing her sweetly and gently. As if he knows, and Jill sniffed. She blew her nose again. Knows what? Lizzie thought Ginger looked okay. Sure, maybe she was moving more slowly than usual. But she seemed fine. Last night, Angel sighed, Ginger didn't want any dinner. This morning, I barely got her to drink her water. She doesn't want to go outside. She doesn't want to come inside either. She just paces around the house, panting. Then she flops down for a few moments. Then she gets up again. I called the vet and we went to see her this afternoon. Well, that's good, Lizzie said. You go to Dr. Gibson, right? I'm sure she can help. And Jill shook her head. Not this time, she said. Ginger is 15 years old, and she has a good life. She has been slowing down for a long time. Dr. Gibson thinks she's... And Jill broke down again, burying her face in her hands. Oh, Lizzie said. Suddenly, she understood. She put her hand on Jill's back. You mean? And Jill nodded as she blew her nose one more time. What Ginger has is a catch, and it's just old age, and she's probably in her last days. Dr. Gibson, all he can do is make her comfortable and make sure she's not in pain. Lizzie nodded. How can I help? She asked. You probably don't need me to lock her anymore because she doesn't want to go outside anymore. No, you're right, dear, Aunt Jill said. I can take care of that, but I would love it if you... classes. I don't think I could bring her and lift me to the yoga studio anymore. I don't want to leave her alone more than I have to. And look, she pointed to dogs. Oscar really helps her relax and calm down. Ugh. Whew. Sure enough, Oscar lay quietly on the rug now. Ginger laid on the rug, snoring gently. Oscar lay around, occasionally putting a paw on her to comfort the older dog. Just tell me your schedule, Lizzie said. I'll do whatever I can. Thanks, Aunt Jill said. She reached over and carried over a scrapbook from the coffee table. Want to see what Ginger looked like when she was a puppy? It was just when I was your age. I brought her home one summer day. Lizzie pointed over to Aunt Jill's picture. Oh, cute! she said. A little girl with blonde braids and with a wide grin stood under a tree holding a tiny brown and black puppy whose ears looked 3 times too big. Angel smiled. I didn't have any brothers and sisters growing up, so Ginger became my best friend in the whole wide world. She touched the pictures. I told her all my secrets, I played with her, and she went everywhere I went. Well, maybe not to school. Except for one day when she found me there, and Mrs. Dempsey let her stay in our classroom until my mom came to pick her up. Lizzie heard lots of stories about Ginger that week. Every day after school and in the evenings, Lizzie and Oscar spent so much time they could practically live at Aunt Jill's house. Maria understood. She told Lizzie not to worry. She made sure the clients got their dogs locked. And Lizzie's family understood too. Even though it did make Charles make Lizzie call him a different name for each day, in exchange for doing some of her chores. Some days in Aunt Jill's house, it was just Lizzie and Oscar, sitting quietly with Ginger. Sometimes Aunt Jill was there and they would sit on the couch together, looking at pictures and watching movies. And Jill told Lizzie about how Ginger helped her survive middle school. She showed her pictures from her senior prom night at high school. A boy and girl all dressed up in formal clothes, with Ginger sitting behind them on a porch swing. She then told him how hard it had been to leave Ginger behind when she went off for college, and how wonderful it was to see her again when she went home for vacation. And now we live together again. It's been so great having my best friend with me. And Jill looked fondly at Ginger. Ginger and Oscar seemed like best friends too. From the moment he entered the house, Ginger paid attention to nobody except Ginger. He was by her side every second, lying curled up next to her and gazing at her with his wise, friendly eyes. Lizzie couldn't believe how patient and gentle he was with the older dog. Now that she knew she would be able to find Oscar a wonderful forever home somewhere, he had proven he could get along with one dog. So maybe he didn't have to be the only dog in a family at all. Each day, Ginger seemed to fade a bit. She wasn't eating and drinking at all. And by Thursday, she barely lifted her head when Lizzie and Oscar arrived. On Friday, when Lizzie got home from school, her mom met her at the door. She didn't even knew, but just by looking at her mother's sad face, she knew Angela had called to say that Ginger had died. Mom pulled Lizzie into her arms. I'm sorry, honey. I know how hard this is. Lizzie sobbed into her mother's chest. She wasn't sure who she was crying for. Ginger, Aunt Jill, that little girl in the picture, so happy with her puppy. And what about Oscar? He was gonna miss his friend. This wasn't fair. It wasn't fair at all. Oh, why couldn't dogs live as long as people did?